Today on Brett's Top 5, we are going to talk about hunting myths. Are they true or are they false? Specifically, we're going to talk about scents, the way you smell. And we're going to start with number 5. That is false. Smoking doesn't affect anything during hunting, not whatsoever. I know there's always a friend who is a hunter who says, well, if you go hunting with me, you can't smoke cigarettes because when the deer smells them, it scares them away. That's garbage. It's complete garbage. The smell of a burning cigarette is more natural to a deer than, let's say, most other things that you smell like. And there's been so many hunters throughout the years who smoke and hunt at the same time. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and smoke when you're deer hunting, but it doesn't affect anything. I've had a friend who was one of those guys who would not go with smokers until he went with his grandpa the next season. They're in a deer stand and his grandpa's smoking a cigarette and this doe just walks underneath him and doesn't even care. Smoking doesn't affect it at all. Now, I would rather go hunting with an old grizzled up dude who knows the property, knows the deer, and chain smokes over somebody who makes sure they spray their body down with a bunch of garbage just so they don't seem like they smell like something. And a lot of times these guys, these old hunters who smoke, have better cardio than the ones who don't. Like if it was an old grizzled up hunter, you'd be sitting there with him and he'd be like, yeah, we'll just sit here for about 15 minutes. They'll come walking out. See it right there? There they are. All right, we're done. So in the long run, if somebody tells you smoking cigarettes deters deer and makes them run away because of the smell, they're wrong. Now, when it comes to no scent products, they have sprays, deodorant, shampoo, soap, detergents. It doesn't give you a better edge. It really doesn't. And I'm gonna tell you why. Now, when you buy something like this, you can buy an all-natural one, and you can buy one that's just made of chemicals. And if you buy the one made of chemicals, you're not really gonna smell anything on you. You won't smell it. But what the deer smells, who has a much better, they can just smell way better than we can, right? They smell chemicals because it's not relieving the smell, it's covering the smell. It's not removing anything. So the more you spray on you, the more they can smell of that specific chemical. Now, I've seen hunting shows to where they have like a hunting blind way in the sky. It's just a big plastic box and they're spraying themselves down before they get in the box. And I'm like, why? You're not doing anything. Maybe it's sponsorship, but I just think it just looks pretty dumb to me. It doesn't really give you an edge at all, whatsoever, because you're gonna smell like something. Let's say you wash your clothes in it. Let's say you bathe in it, everything, you spray yourself down before you get in the blind and when you get in the blind, wherever you're sitting. As soon as you open up your bag of Doritos, guess what you smell like? Doritos. If you believe in this, that the no scent stuff gives you an edge and you're having snacks when you hunt, you better be good at breathing out of your nose, because every time you breathe out of your mouth, you're gonna be smelling Doritos, Oreos, whatever snacks you're having. It doesn't really give you an edge. It really doesn't. That is false, and I'll tell you why. Now, you do have more of that natural musky smell when you don't bathe. But you know who else knows that natural musky smell? Deer know that smell. They don't like it. They smell that, they know it's human, they're gonna take off. Now, if your clothes smell like it, wash those too. But you need to wash your crack, wash your pits, wash your hair. Let me give you an example. Let's say you don't bathe and you just stink. You just smell like you ran a marathon in 100-degree weather. A deer's gonna look at the other deer and go, well, that smells like a human. We got to get out of here. And they're going to jet. But if you take a shower and you wash your hair with something like, say the scent is strawberry passion fruit, the deer are going to smell that and go, what is that? And they're going to be a little curious. They're going to try to find out what that is before they run. So they're going to look around. At the same time, they're not going to go, strawberry passion fruit. Wait, that's that human shampoo. We need to go. No, they're not going to do that. They will be curious, but if you smell like a human, you're not going to be able to stock up on a deer or get anywhere close to it because they know the natural smell of a human. So wash yourself up. Now this one I agree with. Not washing your hunting clothes after you've gutted a deer isn't such a bad thing. Let's say you got 2 tags and you shot a doe and you gut it, and then all of a sudden you get some blood on your pants or your coat, or your shirt, whatever you're wearing, and let's say a little bit of that gut bag gets on you, and it smells really bad. I know it. It smells terrible. But to a deer, it just smells like a big old fat dump because they know what that smell is. And it doesn't deter a deer. It doesn't make them turn away. It doesn't make them run. It's actually a natural cover. So it's not bad at all if you don't wash your hunting clothes, if you get that on you, unless your wife makes you wash it because it is unbearably stinky. But it will not affect hunting a deer. There's been deer seasons where I didn't wash my hunting clothes the entire time. Now I would have stuff from shooting geese on there, ducks, 1 deer, and then finally my last tag, and it would just reek. And it never affected my hunt whatsoever. So if you get that on your hunting clothes, it's more of like a badge of honor kind of thing. Of course, wash it if it gets unbearable, and wash it at the end of season. And it's kind of neat to think that the smell of death is coming after that next deer. So in my opinion, if you don't want to wash your hunting clothes, don't. Now this one's a little controversial. This one's a little bit because you can buy, in some states, real deer urine. In some states, you got to get the synthetic stuff. It is very potent. It is a lure. It is an attractant. Now, if you're on a hunting property where it's just teeming with bucks, you don't need to use it. But if you're on a property where there's really not a lot of deer, there's really no harm in putting some on your boots. I've never had a problem with it. And a lot of times it depends of the time of the season. If it is full on rut and every buck that you see just has a giant swollen neck, probably not the best thing to do. But at the same time, if it's preseason, you can literally get a 5-gallon bucket and just dump it all over you. It ain't gonna do anything. It may attract a deer, but if it's not during the rut, it's not gonna do much. But if you're a person who is a sitter who sits there all day and doesn't move, just throw some around you. But if you're another person who likes to move and walk around when they hunt, a little bit in your boots ain't gonna hurt. Now, they have to put that on the bottle that you could possibly get attacked by a deer just to save their butts so they don't get sued. And in my case, I have been charged at twice during the rut, and I wasn't even wearing a attractant. It's because it's the rut. And I'll tell you one of the little stories of what happened. So I was going after does, and I was walking through this open field and the sun was to my back. And I see this little buck pushing around some does. It's full on rut. And I'm not even close enough to shoot at one of the does because I'm using my shotgun. And the buck looks at me. Now, deer are colorblind. So what it sees is just this dark silhouette way in the distance. It doesn't even know what I am. And it comes close. It charges at me and stops to check me out. and it's probably about 150 yards, and then charges again and gets to about 50 yards. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, don't do it, buddy, because I will put you down. Didn't have any attractant on, but it didn't know what I was because of the angle of the sun. But when it stopped at that 50 yards and looked at me, it finally turned its head right, it noticed I was a human. Guess what it did? Went the other direction, took right off. The does in the distance, they didn't come any closer. They didn't know what was going on. But needless to say, both times I've been charged at was during the rut, and I wasn't using that attractant. So in my opinion, don't use it during the rut. If you do, and you're a guy who walks around and moves around, just a little bit on your boots, little bit. That's what I'm gonna tell you. And if you get attacked, it's probably not from that. It's probably because it is the rut. That is the best time to hunt, but sometimes can be the most dangerous. And again, if it's preseason rut, you can just dump that all over your body. I've had it all over myself and just reeked. And it was preseason before the rut, and it didn't do anything. So with that, it's a yes and a no. It depends on what part of the season it is. But use it at your own discretion. Don't take my advice when it comes to deer urine, because different areas have different deer. So if this helped you out, please give the channel a like and subscribe. Until next time, God bless each one of you guys and girls. And I really hope you got your deer this year and tagged out. And we got more of these top 5s coming. I got a lot more hunting top 5s coming. Until next time, God bless you and have a great day.